Okay, so today I want to talk about one of my podcast guests, Dr. Babatunde. Well, I don't know why I'm sharing this experience with you guys, but I think it's something you need to listen to because sitting down with all of these experts to talk, either virtually or physical, it's always a life-changing moment. It's always a moment where I need to tell myself, hey, whenever it's the day for podcast, I know, it's time to learn. It's time to put some information down to book or to pen to paper. So, Dr. Babatunde is one of Nigeria's fintech bosses, a chief operational officer in Nigeria's fintech. And our conversation that day was about talking about the future of finance, also in Nigeria, in Africa, and the world at large, and how it's also impacting all that we're doing. And that day, personally, you get to realize that Dr. Babatunde didn't just wake up to become a finance person. He came up from agric, from crop science. He studied crop science actually, and finally his journey then moved him from crop science to banking, and from banking, that he's now found himself in finance. So if you actually think maybe because you studied biochemistry in school and you really want to just get your head stuck there, please change that narrative and know that you can be anything just by that conversation. Dr. Babatunde shared very wonderful points, which I want many organizations to also pay attention to. And what is that point? Which is the power of TEAM, team. As you just call it team, probably any team. But team there means T for training, E for empathy, A for accountability, and M motivation. So meaning that as a leader, wherever you're leading, wherever you have to stand in front of many people or anybody, you should be able to train your staff. You should be an empathetic leader, and you should have the power to be accountable, and you should also be able to motivate them, because if you can't motivate them, if you can't motivate yourself first, how else do you want to motivate them? And why is training very important? Because imagine you having a new, an intern in your organization, and you don't have the right strategy to teach them, or probably your HR department isn't very effective. You understand? So at that point, you're going to be having very serious issue with your employees. You're going to have very, very serious issue, because I've been there. I know what it feels like for you to have an unskilled person that you can't train. And in looking at empathy there, it means that when this person is either motivated in the M or not motivated because of some personal issues or some personal reasons, they might not be able to move. But you need to be there to understand with them, either loss of a family member or loss of work member. You never can tell. But by you being able to connect with them, by you being able to ask the right questions, by you being able to show up for them at the right time, you can as well give them that emotional support for them to understand and know that you're not just there to use them to work for you, but you're also there as a family for them to also connect with you and share their personal experience. And why is accountability very important? Because every leader needs to be accountable for everybody they have in charge of them. Even the Bible said that even if the seeds that were given, they gave this one 3 seeds to be sown, and 1 and 2, and those who went back with 3 came back with more, double. The other ones that were given 2 came back with double, and who was given 1 didn't come back with any. You understand? So you don't have anything to be accountable for. Not like the Nigerian leaders that are actually not accountable for what is going on in the country. But how will a leader not be accountable for what he's doing? How will you be a leader and you're not accountable for your downlines, for your team, for your organization? It's very, very important. You need to embrace proper accountability in all that you're doing. And motivation, you need to be able to motivate your team, but first motivate yourself personally. Because if you're motivated, you always have every reason to do anything you want to do. You always have every reason to move. You always have every reason to push them. You always have every reason to train them, be empathetic, and also be accountable for so many things. So motivation is very, very important, because even when you find yourself lost in direction, motivation will always keep you back into that movement. But in all, I don't want to just share out everything from the video, but I'm hoping that you'll be able to watch this video when we're going to be able to watch this video and share it with friends, share it with anybody you could share it with your organization, most especially. Sit down with your employees, sit down, watch them, and let's see how we can change the way management process is being done in Nigeria, in Africa, and the world at large. And don't forget, subscribe and like, and also share. And let's continue to learn valuable information together.